January 22nd, a day in the United States that has been consecrated and set apart to remember, to pray, and to make sacrifices for the legalization of all human life, and most particularly the life of the child in the womb, the legal protection of that life in any mother's womb. In our culture of death, where it is so very easy for us to discard things we no longer need or want, or things that might be an inconvenience to us, we have very sadly and tragically transferred that to include people. People whom we no longer need. People who are an inconvenience or discomfort to us. And what seems to be more inconvenient in a society that only thinks of ourselves is the child in the womb. Because that child requires love. That child requires attention. That child requires nourishment. That child requires its every need be met by someone other than itself. It is defenseless. It is vulnerable. It is in need of someone else to care for it. And that means that as stewards of God's creation, you and I, we are called to care for the children entrusted to us. All children are entrusted to us, which is why you and I must pray today, especially today, every day truly, but especially today, for the protection, the legal protection of all human life, and most particularly the life of the child in the womb. Perhaps there's some sacrifice you can make today. Maybe it's not turning on the TV. Maybe it's skipping dessert. Maybe it's skipping fries, or even skipping the ketchup for your fries. Maybe it's skipping a second helping. I was recently reading an article in the National Catholic Register indicating these what are called holy hacks, ways of holiness in our life. One of those ways is fasting. That fasting helps us have control of ourselves and our base desires, but it also can be used in a salvific way for others, for the good and for the spiritual benefit of others. Making some small sacrifice today might very well be of spiritual benefit to a child in the womb, whom you might not know, but perhaps, please God, one day meet in heaven. Perhaps that child in the womb will say to you, God has revealed to me that you made a sacrifice. Because you made a sacrifice, that touched the heart of my mother and my father, and they chose to have me. Thank you. Saints in the making, we are all of us responsible for all of us. Let us take the time today to pray. And prayer itself is a sacrifice. To pray for the legal protection of the life of the unborn child. And please be to God, and through the divine intercession of the Holy Child Jesus, in our hearts, and especially in the hearts of those who are most hardened against life in the womb. May He grant us the capacity of making space for grace.